So in the request that Ivan sent me, nearing the end of it, he asked me to answer this question after seeing the anime in my anime review. Is Chiharu the character gonna be on my worst female anime characters list after seeing the anime? And to answer your question, Ivan, no. And here's why. Now, for those who haven't seen the anime yet and are watching this, Chiharu is the childhood best friend of the main character Koichi, and they kind of get into a relationship. It's so vague, guys, because they don't outright say that they're in a relationship. In fact, I didn't even know that they were in a relationship until much, much later, where it's like they kind of were, but it was really, really vague. So this is why I don't really hate the character and her actions now. But in episode 7, which is where the anime got really good, you have Chiharu. She's off at some type of camp for training for track and field. She's a runner. She's very passionate about running. Another thing I love about the anime, you learn a lot about the characters, and Chiharu has a passion for running. And she's running in the forest one day, and she gets lost, and she meets this really hunky college student, and she kind of grows feelings for this guy because he's just so interesting and so fun. He helps her feel better and stuff like that, and she starts having conflicted emotions about her feelings for him and her feelings for Koichi. In fact, there's a scene where she even calls Koichi, like saying, hey, I don't know how to feel. I think I'm in love, and she wasn't able to finish her sentence, and Koichi wasn't listening, so that kind of adds to what she ends up doing. So she calls the guy up, the college student, asks him if he's free to hang out, and they go to this freaking cliff, like secluded cliff where you can see the city and the stars. It's really gorgeous, really romantic, and they're kind of just bonding, and she's like opening up to him, and she's crying and all that stuff, and they're about to kiss, but then they get cut off because the college student's phone rings, and then he's like, I'll just drive you to the train station. She's gonna go meet somebody there. And so they're driving to the train station. Chiharu gets out of the car. She's walking away, but then she walks back and she kisses the college student, and then he drives away, and when she turns around, guess who's standing there? Koichi. And he saw the whole thing, and he just drops, like, he got her this gift, like a bunch of shell, like a shell kind of necklace kind of thing, and he drops it, and he's just this stunned look. At this very moment, this is where the anime took such an interesting turn and became vast, like far more unique than most romance animes, because I've never seen this tackled before. Most of the time, whenever an anime deals with the subject of cheating, it's portrayed in a very petty fashion, done for very selfish, shallow, and lustful reasons. The biggest example of this is, of course, School Days. Hell, it was infamous for this. The main character Makoto cheating on his really nice girlfriend Kotonoha with a girl named Sekai, mostly because Kotonoha wouldn't have sex with Makoto. She wasn't able to satisfy Makoto sexually, and that's what led him to cheat. Now, is that a valid reason to cheat on your girlfriend? Fuck no! That is a very shallow reason. If you really cared about your girlfriend, you would wait for them. You would actually consider what they want to do. And Kotonoha didn't want to take that next step. She wasn't ready for that, but because she wasn't ready for it, Makoto, not wanting to wait and being horny as fuck, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna cheat on you with Sekai because she's more sexually available. That is a douchebag reason to cheat on somebody. There's even another anime, Hanbu no Suki ga Noboru Sora. The main guy in that anime cheats on his terminally ill girlfriend for sexual reasons as well. So it's done for very petty, selfish, and lustful reasons because they're not being sexually satisfied. In this anime, Boys B, the cheating, whether or not you can call it cheating, I think that's very subjective. The cheating in this anime is done more out of emotional reasons because Chiharu is conflicted throughout the entire episode about how she feels about this. And at this point in time, when you're in high school, you will have a mixed bag of emotions. You don't know how to control them. You're at that stage where you're just dealing with so much stuff, hormones, feelings, conflicts, and all that stuff. So she's going through a lot of dilemmas. It's much more complex. The things, the events, the dilemma that happens in this episode and what she does, her actions, are far more complex than just, oh, he's a hot college student, so I kind of want to fuck him. In fact, that's not even the reason she falls for the guy. She falls for him because he's nice to her. They bond. They actually have a convincing relationship. They had chemistry. And again, it goes beyond just mere sexual or physical attraction. That's what made it so fascinating and so interesting, and kind of muddied the lines between her being a bitch and just being conflicted. And that's why I didn't really hate the character that much. There's so much depth in this scene, so much depth in this entire episode, and it added so much to otherwise hollow character. And I like that they touched upon it on the emotional side. I mean, they easily could have been like, okay, Chiharu's gonna fuck this college student because he's so hot. I mean, look at him, he's dreamy, right? But no, throughout the entire episode, it's a constant conflict of emotion. She's going back and forth in her mind about how she feels. And again, going back to how vague their relationship is in this anime, I mean, it's never really defined what the relationship is like. You never get to see Chiharu and Koichi just share a moment together and kind of get an understanding and a definition of what their relationship is like. Maybe she was emotionally withdrawn, and maybe she just didn't feel that connection with Koichi that she felt with the college guy. Maybe she was able to do more and be more open with him, and he was just more fun. I mean, to be honest, based on what they showed us in the first few episodes, Koichi is a very boring person. He's passive, he's dull, he's indecisive, he's a terrible boyfriend. And I can see why she was so conflicted. Now, that might not have been the case. Maybe he was an excellent boyfriend, but they never show it to us. We never get a full understanding of their relationship. We don't get to see them bond. That is frustrating. So when she does what she does in the 7th episode, I'm not so torn up about it. I'm not so angry because I never bought her relationship with Koichi to begin with. I bought the relationship she shared with the college student more than Koichi. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, well, she still cheated on him. I mean, it's kind of hinted at that they're in a relationship, so yeah, she's a bit of a bitch, man. She cheated on her. I thought you said you hate cheaters. And you're right, I can't stand cheating in any form and for any reason. I don't believe there is a justifiable reason to cheat on somebody. If you really feel disconnected or you just don't feel like the relationship is working, end it. But again, she's in high school. She's making mistakes. She's not thinking rationally. This makes sense. High school students are like this. They act mostly off of their emotions, not logically. So it made sense. So I didn't feel too bad about that. And also, again, it's a very gray area because you don't know what the dynamic of the relationship was. It's very muddled. We don't know. So I don't hate the character. I don't hate her at all. In fact, I ended up finding her more interesting because of this scenario, this dilemma. Yeah, sure, it's terrible, but this happens in real life. There are people that just feel empty in their relationships, they don't feel any connection, and it leads them to do some stupid decisions.